This video was captured by security guard Francisco de Ciudad, who has sent the video for review to Pasillo. Apparently the man was working a night shift in the region. People say that it is a notorious place for inexplicable events that all have been reported by different staff members over the years. Tonight, this man is documenting the latest happenings.
La planta 2, aquí vamos haciendo recorrido. Aquí está un poquito alusado. Ahorita no te quise poner nada porque hay una parte oscura, así como se ve ahí al fondo.
Tonight, this man is documenting the latest happenings.
Son las máquinas donde hacen los wipers, ¿sí? Bueno, no sé lo que hacen realmente, no te creas. Pero sé que aquí pues hay la gente operadora, ¿sí? De mi lado izquierdo, pues es todo lo que es el almacén, lo que son las láminas de los wipers, bracitos, todo lo que es accesorio de los wipers, mi amor. De mi lado izquierdo, mi amor, hay unos baños, ¿sí? Hay unos baños que antes se usaban, pero ahorita pues están como abandonados. Todo esto es un pasillo donde se maneja todo eso.
He was alone that night, so who did he capture here at the end of the hallway? A ghost perhaps? A former worker? The following videos were found by user Heaven Sung, and he states that he uncovered this interesting case on maximum disclosure. Heaven told me that the following incidents took place in the residence of a man who, after moving into a new place, had the feeling that not everything was quite as normal as it seemed at first. For the first week there was nothing wrong with the house. However, for whatever reason, the man could hear some weird banging noises that could be heard through several rooms of his house. Thinking it was the neighbors at first, the man simply hoped that these renovations wouldn't go on for many more days. One night though, he woke up to another loud bang and saw a shadow standing in front of his bed. This terrified him so much that he kept the little nightlight on for the following nights. And things only got stranger by the day. He swore that he could see more and more of these strange shadows, even during the day. He saw them walking around in the house when nobody else was there. Really creepy apparently. At some point, the man mounted several cameras up in the house to see if he could capture any of this activity. Then, the following was uploaded on his profile. What appears to be the shadow of a man can be seen, walking into the room and then vanishing towards the bed. Really strange. Could this be a reflection from somewhere else? It's possible. Maybe from the window. Thing is, this bedroom didn't have a window. However, in the end, we can't really find a real answer to it. There's still all these weird events that transpire in his house. The man thought the same and wanted to capture more proof that these shadow sightings were not just make-believe or easily explainable by any kind of reflection. On one of the following nights, he captured another corner of his bedroom and placed the camera towards the bed and his dressing mirror, which was standing right next to it. When he came back to check the footage later, he saw this. Another large shadow figure that steps into the frame, but it can only be picked up in the mirror. Really mysterious, isn't it? If this isn't just a setup, possibly staged by the owner, we really have to ask ourselves here, what could be the reason for all these sightings? Could it be a former owner perhaps? Or is it something completely different? Our next clip was posted by user WisePaint. His dad is working as a caretaker and handyman in a local hotel and has many strange stories to tell about this place. Today he was tasked with fixing an air conditioning unit in one of the many rooms in this hotel. As per usual, he was recording this for hotel management and to document his thoughts and notes about this piece of machinery. After a little while, it would appear that the man didn't seem to be alone anymore. WisePaint stated, "My dad recorded this. At some point, he recorded a woman's voice, at least that's what we think. And then the phone seems to get touched. It would appear that there is indeed a voice coming through. A faint whisper, but what was it saying? And is it English? Then the phone seems to get tipped over and falls to the ground. A strange encounter to say the least. Do you think this was just a noise created by the drill, or maybe the AC itself? Let me hear your thoughts about this. The next clip was found on Reddit and sent to me by Paul. He stumbled over it while browsing the paranormal section, and following video caught his interest. User I will stay Anon, thanks, has shared this footage a few days ago after capturing something unusual in an old church. Apparently the user was very interested in urban exploring, and the night in question, his destination of choice was the following 125-year-old abandoned church, and apparently is still in incredible shape, with its intact glass windows and the red velvet church pews. However, urban decay is slowly taking over this wonderful place. And it is said that, for whatever reason, the creepy basement, which is darkest night, is apparently haunted. Our explorer basically just was out to hunt for some exciting shots that night, and of course was hoping for some thrills. In the end, he might have gotten more than he was hoping for though. In his own words, he tells us, "I don't know what I have captured that night. It was all normal at first, while I was exploring the empty rooms, until a point when the following happened." The door is opening by itself. Very scary indeed. However, there also seemed to be a crouched object that can be seen through the glass. Possibly the reason for the door opening. But what was it? If we believe our explorer, the place was empty, and he made sure that nobody else was there at the time. Of course, you never have proof for that. Was it maybe a homeless person that is living in there? Or was this a paranormal encounter? At the least. Do you think this was just a noise created by the drill, or maybe the AC itself? Let me hear your thoughts about this. Now we will take a look at a recording that was captured by user ChidiSock, and it certainly is a very bone-chilling one. Sock states that this video was recorded by the daughter of his girlfriend, who had a friend over at the time. They were alone for a couple of hours and thought it would be fun to do some recordings. It was also stated that the video was captured by a cell phone. The two young girls were just recording a video for another friend of theirs when something appeared on it that shouldn't have been there. The user simply wrote, "They captured something that day. The weight stands up is what gets me. Can anybody ID this figure?" A dark shadow person can be seen in the background. And the really terrifying thing is how it is just swinging upwards into a walk. It looks so unnatural and spooky, and it is what frightened this family the most on this day. How's this possible? Even if it was another family member that could have been home without anybody noticing. This behavior is certainly not normal. It also looks like it's shifting its shape quite a bit while walking. Some people believe it could be the Hat Man. Do you agree? Or what's your explanation? The following videos were documented and posted by Sean Lamson, who states that several of his friends believe that one of his rooms, an empty bedroom to be exact, which is situated on the upper floor of his house, inherits some evil entity. At least this room managed to scare several of his friends out of this house. One of his friends had his kids over every now and then, and they apparently were terrified to ever step foot in this particular room ever again. The little one, a 3-year-old boy, even states that he saw monsters coming out of the little door in the wall that leads into a little storage space. The father of the kids himself even states that he as well saw a huge shadow entity in this room. Weirdly enough, the owner Sean, however, who's living in this house for several years, never came across anything strange. This all should change really soon though, because Sean was about to move out of this old house. Unfortunately, the building was about to get demolished. Sean and a friend were gathering some of the last boxes that night, when all of a sudden, some really strange noises could be heard from the upstairs. This was when Sean started recording.
Oh my god.
Did you leave that light on?
That one?
Yeah.
Is it coming from the back room?
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'm gonna try to step What the? Jesus Christ!
Something seemed to be running at them, and the two decided to make it out of there as fast as they could. His friend seemed to slip, however, and fell to the ground. Luckily, she wasn't hurt that night. On one of the following nights, he had some more of his friends with him, and they wanted to take a look at the upper floor one last time, and whilst they were slowly walking upstairs, there was a demonic noise captured that went unnoticed at the time.
Hold on.
So you went in that room? I don't want to be lost.
Then come. Hold on.
So you went in that room?
Could it be that an evil entity was recorded here, possibly being angry about the upcoming demolition of the place? His friends swore that none of them heard anything weird at the time, and that it wasn't them making that noise. What do you think? The next submission is another really mysterious one. It was shared by user bman87. The story goes that his fiance's children were out with two of their friends and they were taking captures around the barn one evening. They were scouting out the premises and preparing to shoot a little video project. They didn't come across anything strange at the time, at least this is what they stated. Later that night, the family was going through the captures together. On one of the images, they found this. family was baffled, and the paranormal community on Reddit also didn't know what exactly was captured that day. Many believe this to be a ghost or even an alien. Could that be so? This was a pretty isolated incident for the family, and nobody besides the kids has captured something weird in the stables ever again. A mysterious one for sure, isn't it? The next recording stemmed from a young man who also documented some really inexplicable activity that took place in their home. Core's son just moved into a new home with his mother. His videos were initially about their new house and how excited both of them were to start a new chapter there. However, some unexpected events caused Core to upload a couple different videos than before. The first strangeness that really occurred was when the young man was about to take out the trash one day, and for whatever reason, the garage door opened by itself without him pressing any button.
Alright, so I'm going to put in the garbage bag in the trash can, and the door just opens on its own. And the only way to do it is from the clicker on the doorway or outside on the little pin pad, or by the clicker that is in my mom's car, and my mom's car is not here.
I mean, that's nothing too scary. I've seen stuff like this happening a lot, but on one of the following nights there was a really suspicious orb that flew across the room and slid down the wall.
Orb comes across the screen right here, and then it goes down. It looks like it walks across right there.
Dust doesn't do that, right? Besides other strange orb sightings that were captured by the security camera in there. His mother was doing laundry one night when loud noises caught her attention, which were stemming from the yard area.
Does she hear something? So she goes inside to get me. So it took me forever to find what might have made the noise, but I looked through all the videos recordings and I come across that.
One of their backyard CCTV cameras recorded an even stranger incident. There seemed to be a person walking by. Obviously nobody should have been on their property. So, was this an intruder?
In a little garage area, and this way is where our actual garage is, where I walked from. If you look right there, see, I'm right here. That's the top of my thinning hair head, and there's something walking, or whatever the fuck, back there, and you can see me flash my light.
But does all of this mean that several paranormal forces linger on the property of the two? Really hard to say. The next video was initially recorded by Kayleigh Love and shared on her very own channel, Love to Investigate. Kayleigh was exploring an abandoned mental asylum that day. They had their investigation equipment ready. They were giving the old place a nice walkthrough at first and checked out several corridors and some derelict rooms.
All the sinks are broken yet again, like I like to say in all of my abandoned. What's that? Whoa. They like pink tiles, don't they? What's in our room? There's another room in here. I don't like looking behind shower curtains, that just creeps me right out.
After a little while, Kayleigh can capture an odd looking thing at the end of the hallway.
That's pretty cool, that is. Smells like an hospital in this part, definitely.
It would appear that an apparition is standing there and then walking towards the right into one of the rooms. She states that she didn't notice anything at the time, and that only after reviewing the tape did they see the apparition. If it wasn't any of her friends, perhaps, what else are we looking at here? A real ghost? Maybe a former patient?
That's pretty cool, that is. Smells like an hospital in this part, definitely.